So what we got here is the passenger side. As you can see, we are going to be changing the shocks and struts on this. Don't worry. I know y'all are freaking out. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so we got to change these out at some point. This side's not leaking at all, but it still needs replaced. It's pretty much factory. We've got new sensors over here, so somebody changed out the sensors. New brake rotors, new brake calipers, new brakes pads down here. And then we're going to be changing out this rack right here. There we go. We're going to be changing out this rack right here. As you see here, somebody tried to zip tie it closed and keep it sealed on there, but it's not sealing at all. So there's a little O-ring, if you know anything about these, about rack and pinion systems. There's an O-ring inside of there, deep down in there. And that O-ring always ends up going out, so we always got to replace it. We got a heat shield back here for the catalytic converter that's also missing. We're going to replace that heat shield that's missing back here. Then we've got another one up front we're going to be replacing also, which is up here. This one down here needs to be replaced also. As you can see, it's pretty much, it's Jover. Anyway, got a couple new sensors I put in here, some new O2 sensors, some new hoses, you know, a couple other things. Also, brake rotor calipers and pads on this side are all brand new. We need to change out the wheel and hub assembly, which is right here. Once again, we've got new sensors, so somebody changed the sensors out. Those are AutoZone numbers on that sensor. Also on the same side, same thing. AutoZone numbers on that sensor. Over here, we got the same thing. We've got the boot here is completely collapsed and broken, and it's leaking out right here in the back left side. So we got to replace that too. This side of the rack and pinion, we just did a bunch of seals inside of the oil, or not oil pan, but transmission pan. And we also did, while we were in there, did the transmission filter, and all of that stuff. And then there's a new transmission gasket on there. And I have a little bit of tiny bit of RTV on there, but not very much at all. Gasket sealing seems to be sealing perfectly fine, so I don't think we need RTV in there, right? Also, this motor mount here, as you can see, is collapsed. You can usually tell that because this here, the boot, is going to be completely collapsed on one side, and that means that it was in like this. So I usually, in order to be able to tell if the motor mounts are collapsed on one of these Toyotas, I just move the boot like this. See that? Yeah, that means that it's completely collapsed on itself on this side over here when it's under load, which means whenever you're pushing on the gas, this boot here is collapsing in, which means that it should be up, and it's not up. So if you lift the boot, yeah, you see that in there? All that rubber is completely deteriorated. It's gone. There's like nothing left in there. And then I'll show you the other ones that we just got here. They are in the back. So we're going to walk back here. We're going to come over here, open this up. Probably like zoomed really close in my face for no reason whatsoever. I'm sorry, guys. I'm using my phone, okay? This is all I got for now, so leave me alone. Anyways, if you look at this one, let's get you all in here. If you look at this one, it's not completely collapsed on this side, but it kind of has a little bit of a divot. Divots are fine as long as it's not collapsed, as long as there's not like a huge, like, as long as it don't look like that, right? Because that's what the other side looks like over here, the old one. It looks like that, which means that it's collapsed and it's pushing this boot up, right? But anyway, when we pull the boot up, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Oh my god. Maybe not. We're going to try though. There we go. When you pull the boot off, you see that? You can see the rubber from the top. So yeah, you can't see any of that rubber that's in there. Then that means that that motor mount's deteriorated and it's gone and needs to be replaced. So this is that motor mount for this side. We've got another one sitting right down here for the other side. And then we've also got our rack, which is down there. And then each one of the sides are over here. So what we ordered, because I like to order it this way, especially when I'm doing mobile mechanics, we just grab these things and get them all in one piece. See that? You got your brake dust, then your actual wheel hub right here, and then you've got your it's a little heavy and I don't want to bend the plate there, brake plate. Then you've got your bearing inside of here already pressed in and ready to go, so you don't have to press a new bearing in. And then they also press in new grease into here, into the back side, where your axle meets in with your wheel and hub assembly. This goes up to your ball joint, this goes up to your shock and strut, this goes down to your rack and pinion, and this one just bolts up your caliper. So this is, or no, rack and pinion's over here, and this is caliper. So that's how that all works, and that's what we're doing on this car. That's pretty much everything. So we're gonna get this party started, and I'm going to basically, like I said before, I'm gonna do a bunch of time lapses. I'm gonna do a bunch of time lapses, and then we're gonna go from there. So enjoy.